Now seating for Empty Theater Club.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Empty Theater Club, a podcast for people who for sure can perform a tracheotomy after watching The Pit.
Oh.
I'm Val.
And I'm Cam. And we're back, joined by the lovely Kaiya Shunyata, who is a Toronto-based TV critic and freelance pop culture writer. They presently cover television for RogerEbert.com and are a contributor to The Daily Beast, TV Insider, Pace Magazine, Dread Central, just to name a few, just everywhere, a freelance writer in this lovely world. Welcome, Kaiya. Welcome to ETC. Welcome to the club. We're so happy.
Thank you for having me. I am very excited.
We're so excited too because, like I said before we started recording, we're so TV pilled right now, more so than ever before. I feel like for me, I'm usually a movie girl. I used to be very kind of snotty towards TV, I feel like.
Even on the pod, Kim is on the record saying, like, I don't watch TV. I only watch Interview with the Vampire. That's it.
I mean, I was definitely like that too before I got into TV criticism. Like, I think I probably watched like one or two shows a year. And now because it's my job, that's mostly what I do.
But
Do you
honestly,
feel like
that rocks though. You're getting paid to have like such a high screen time on multiple
I know.
screens.
It's really
so
nice.
fun.
Do you
Bad
feel like
for my eyesight though.
Yeah.
Do you still watch as many movies then? Or do you feel like you're just all media all the time?
Very much all the time.
Yeah. Well, I did stalk your website and like you have like a film major, right? Like and then you did like something at 4? So is that like your special? I'm kind of
So I did my bachelor's in film studies. And then I did a master's program in Toronto in cinema studies as well. And my thesis that year was tying body horror to trans masculine representation.
Ooh.
Okay,
so,
goosebumps.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was a very stressful time in my life because the program was only 1 year. So we had the summer to do like a 25-page thesis, but it was so fun that I didn't even care. I was like, whatever, I'm having a blast.
That's incredible. Yeah. Well, before I want to like talk about that for a little bit.
Well, I was like, I have things I want because there's also like there's movies that are out right now, and I'm like, have you seen that? If you like body horror, like,
I was like, body horror is kind of having a moment.
It is,
but like when you were studying, when you were doing your thesis with that, what were your inspirations? What were you kind of covering in your thesis?
I saw Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor. That was one of the first films I saw when theaters opened back up during COVID. And I had known there was something fruity or something going on internally. And then I saw that and I was like, oh, this body situation is not what it should be happening. So like the viscerality of that film, I think, is really what triggered this like light bulb moment for me regarding my gender. And then like always have loved body horror, but from that moment on, it was very much like analyzing those films from this trans textuality. And then I didn't really know what I wanted my thesis to be. I kind of did a master's because I didn't know what I was supposed to do after COVID and like graduating from a bachelor's during COVID.
Many such cases.
But like, wait,
correct.
Yeah. Can't wait to read the study on that. That's gonna happen eventually.
It was very much like a hot mess, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. But
no, well, like Val and I also graduated during COVID, and Val has her master's, and I'm trying to go get my master's.
I just finished mine, so we're there. But that's super fair. Wow, that's what a beautiful tie-in. But please continue. I'm just like
it was just that, and like I think my like application said I wanted to write about Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross and like music in films. I was ahead of the challengers. I will be very annoying about that.
Once again, on subtle flags.
Yes. But then I think I just kept thinking about like, you know, academically, people don't really write about like trans cinema is very new. And especially thinking about it academically. And I wanted to do something that like nobody has done. Like people have talked about the Wachowski sisters forever, but I was like, I wanted to explore the body of it all and the horror of it all. And so I focused my thesis on Possessor, Alex Garland's Annihilation, and then Titan from 2021, I think.
That's so cool. So honestly, very like contemporary, which I feel like is groundbreaking. Send us over that thesis, babe. Like
I would. I would
love to read it. That's really exciting. That's really cool.
So
So from thesis to TV, kind of what was your route there, and how did you kind of get your foot in the door?
Yeah, how did you start writing? Because also when you do a film degree, like, did you know when you were doing film studies that you wanted to do like the criticism angle, or were you like wanting to make, because film studies as a whole
so
can be
broad.
very big. Yeah.
I think when I set out, because like I was so young, when I first started university, I was an English major.
Okay.
Then I was a gender studies major for a semester, and then I went into film. So I think I was like 19, bordering on 20 when I finally figured out what I wanted to do. And my brain was very much like, I want to make movies. And then I realized like, oh, this is all theory, and this is not like, practical filmmaking.
Production.
It's very much, it's very much analyzing, which I really do love. And I think like filmmaking is so precarious in general, but in Canada specifically. So I kind of like threw that out the window. I was like,
you said
that is not
route.
going to happen. It's not happening. So, yeah. And then I think I was really engaged in film Twitter once I got into film studies. And then I had seen this publication that is now dead, rest in peace, Screen Queens. And I wrote, there was that publication. And I followed them, read some stuff, and they were doing like a 5-year anniversary zine, and they were like, write about a film that means a lot to you. And I pitched writing about Moonlight, and they said yes. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was like, oh, maybe this could lead into me actually being a writer. And then that led to me writing a review of that Nicolas Cage film Mandy for them.
It's with he's in the car and there's
and then I think right before COVID, somebody I had followed on Twitter began a film publication called Obscure Media, and I started writing for them very heavily during COVID. Unpaid, which whatever, as a starting writer, I wasn't expecting anything less, but like
a byline's a byline.
Exactly. But I went to like TIFF for the first time for them, and it was like online during COVID, so way more accessible for me. And I did like Sundance online for them, which was super cool. And then I think I was still writing for them a little bit, and I pitched Roger Ebert this essay about Zack Snyder's Justice League that had come out.
Interesting.
And like,
seems like so long ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I pitched an essay about that and like fatherhood and grief in that film. And I was not expecting like the editor to say yes, but he emailed me back and he was like, yeah. And that's when that was very much the foot in the door. And that was very much when, for me, it was like, oh, this can turn into a career. Yeah.
And you're good at it. Like, those are two different things.
That's what I was gonna say.
It can totally
you have talent in it too. Like,
thank you.
For sure. Where it's like, because I think that's what's happening now is like, anyone, and this is true for any industry, of like anyone that has criticism on anything, everyone's like, well, I can do that. Okay, well then do it.
Yeah.
Not only do it well.
We've talked a lot about that, especially with like film Twitter, which I think it can be like a lovely place, but then it can also like produce people who are not critics or not able to like analyze something in like full length. Like making a tweet is different than actually doing a written review.
And I think like criticism is dead, essentially. That's what's happening, is that like we don't understand the difference. Maybe we're part of it too. I don't know. This is the whole, it's easy to point fingers of like what's the difference between a true critic, like New Yorker and all these publications and freelancing, versus you're just gonna make a Twitter thread and you're gonna make this whole your persona just criticizing, or like there's a difference between analysis and
that whole like influencer versus journalism debate, and like trying to find that balance between it. But and I think it like comes through when you like have a love. Like I think that's the hard thing. Like now
it shows for your work.
And like if you love this, like you can feel that in what you're writing, and like if that passion's there. And I think there's some people like on film Twitter who it's for the access rather than actual love
than the content.
Sure. And I think that's really when the line starts to get separate.
And like for me, a big part of it is like I don't want to be writing about stuff that makes me miserable unless it's something that I'm very passionate about. Like I wrote at length last year about why season 2 of House of the Dragon wasn't working, but that kind of hatred stemmed from my love for that series. So it was like this balancing of these two things. But most of the time, like, I want to write about stuff that I'm enjoying. I don't like, if something is really awful to me, why would I spend more of my time on it?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think for most of us too, like people who love film and TV, like
for people who love it, you guys
even
talk shit
stuff
about
that
a lot
I
of
hate,
it.
but that's the thing is like even stuff that I hate, I'm still like people came together and like made something and that's really beautiful. Like even if it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I love being a hater means having love.
Mm-hmm.
It's called being educated. I know what I'm hating.
Yeah.
Because I love the opposite. So that's really interesting. And also, with the House the Dragon of it all.
Did you watch season 2 Val? Are you like, okay, I couldn't remember if you were
like, no, we talked about this last season on ETC.
Like I do not remember. I do not recall.
Oh my god, you were writing for your guy.
Oh my god, I was writing for that guy. Jace, I think. I love Jace last night. It's like in our thumbnails. I was like a stan for a minute there. Wow. Deep cut.
But so being a hater or being a critic means you're also a lover. Yeah. So that's really fun. Well, what were prior to that? So you were in film studies and all of that. What was your, pop culture media moment? What were your like big pieces of media that were like, I'm going to be, I can go from women and gender studies to film because of XYZ.
Yeah. Or book or something.
Or book, media.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very much like that switch in my brain was very much when Annihilation came out.
Yeah.
And
what a good movie. It's a good movie. Should I rewatch today? Like low-key?
I looked the other day at like my Letterboxd logs and I think I've watched it 24 times.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw
in a span of like how many years?
It came out in 2018. So yeah.
That's crazy. Good for you.
And I saw it 5 times in theaters. I remember that. And I took all of my friends to go see it because I was so obsessed. And I was very much a poor university student, so I did not have the money to be doing that, but I did it anyway.
Sit your ass down. We're watching Natalie Portman.
Exactly. Yeah. But that movie was very much that movie was very much the thing for me that was like, I would love to be able to analyze this but in a paper. I've always loved like school and writing essays and stuff like that, so I think I had been taking a film course, but after I saw the film, that is when I like did the switch.
So when you were growing up, you weren't like super like
a pop culture
with anything, or was it just
no, I think I was, and it's very it's so embarrassing, and it's so funny too because my little sister was over earlier and we rewatched the 3rd Harry Potter film. And as unfortunate as it is, I was a Harry Potter kid.
Is that one the Goblet of Fire?
No, that's the 4th
Prisoner
one.
of Azkaban.
Yeah, it's the best one, the 3rd one. Is it Alfonso Cuarón? Is that who did? Yeah.
What's the plot for the 3rd one?
It's the time thing. They go and
they go back in time.
Oh, the prisoner with the newspaper one.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And the werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's that one's like cinema.
With the head. That's cinema. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's true terror.
Yeah. But that was very much my main thing as a kid was Harry Potter, and they always came out in July near my birthday. So my mom was always like, we're gonna do lunch and do Harry Potter, and that was such a big part of my life. And even like I remember when I would get them on DVD, watching for hours, like the commentaries and the behind the scenes, like I was so interested in how they physically made those films as a child. And I think that's where it really kind of connected for me. And also Charlie's Angels. That was like,
wait, taste.
Yeah. I very much wanted to be like a stunt performer when I was a child, when I thought that like that was something I would be able to do. But was obsessed with that. And then
that's fun.
And I think the love of like action films led to like a love of the Jackass TV show. And then that kind of also shaped the kind of stuff I was watching and this kind of engagement with media that wasn't
Yeah.
just, you know, as a child watching something. It was very
Right.
much
And
like,
mind-numbing, consuming.
yes.
This is definitely the first time Jackass has been mentioned on this podcast.
I like Jackass
Me
though.
too.
Shout out
love
Jackass.
Such a good, that is, wow, that's so,
But I think
like,
too,
I
like
can
what
see
you
the
said.
through line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But like wanting to know more, like wanting the
Mhm.
commentary for Harry Potter, or like even like understanding like how like action, like how are they filming
How
them?
it could-
I think
yeah.
that is like how you can tell like it's weird to me, not everybody has that, you know, like
Yeah.
Curiosity.
and I'm like, yeah, and I'm
Mhm.
like, no, I need to know everything about this. And I think for me too, like with film studies, like as like you were saying, like as a major, like it is like I don't think I could ever make a film. Like I just don't have like I'm not creative. I don't have the right mindset to do that, but love to talk about it and love to
Yeah.
feel like you're
Part of something
a
bigger.
part of that. And I think
Mhm.
criticism does like play an important role in
Mhm.
too. I do think it's important for
Yeah.
history.
Well, 'cause I just don't think it's
Cool.
possible. How does, I don't understand how people just like things normally. Like, I have to be
Yeah,
obsessed
no.
Yeah.
or I'm like
I have to know
taking more
everything
research.
about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's why,
Well,
and clearly I forgot, like Jace, House of Dragon.
Yeah, I love how the
everything
pendulum
about him.
swings. You said the white boy was replaced. Well, because Glenn Powell came after, so it was a
No,
busy summer.
It was Jacob Anderson that came after. It was like right
True,
after.
true.
So shout out.
So you end up there, and you're in kind of the television space of it
Mhm.
all. What was it like, essentially, like picking like on your beat? How do you kind of like manage, because as a freelancer, like how do you manage your angles versus like wanting to write about something that you do care about versus like this is what's happening in the zeitgeist, I need to write
Yeah.
about it because I need to write about it, like it's what people are talking about.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like it's very much on the fly for me. Like when I'm watching screeners, it's like if there's a scene that captivates me, okay, can I write a whole 800 to 1,000 word piece about this specific scene, or can I tie this scene to a bigger thread that can then be like a 1,200 word piece and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very random, and I think I work in a way that's like feverish almost, and not necessarily good in a way. It's very chaotic. But yeah, like I said earlier, like I really try to write about things that I love more so than I hate. I just think it makes the writing process easier.
Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah, especially if it's like, you know, if they have a word count of 1,000 to 1,200 words, it's like, okay, I don't want to be repeating myself. I want to be engaging with something critically that I can, you know, expand upon as I'm writing through it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
a different kind of discipline, I feel like, too, when you are kind of more in like the freelance space than like assigned, you get your shows assigned to you, and then this is what you're covering for an outlet. It's it's an interesting process to have to kind of
And
navigate,
like
but a little bit of freedom that's kind of nice.
Right.
Yeah. Well, because you said like this idea, like being assigned something, like that's what I do for Roger Ebert. You know, beginning of the month, I say, or like, you know, it's May right now. So on like May 15th, I'll email my editor and I'll be like, hey, these are the shows I'm interested in for June. And most of the time he gives me what I want, but there's other people, so he kind of juggles stuff around.
Totally.
So you're assigned something, you don't necessarily have freedom in a way. Whereas like when I get screeners for those shows, then I can be like, okay, let me pitch an essay on this episode or this episode or this episode. So it's kind of nice being freelance in a way.
I know the lack of stability could be stressful, but
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'm Canadian as well, so I know I will, like, media is dead here. It's been dead for, you know, a decade. So I will probably never have like a staff writing job as much as I would love one.
And
Maybe
like,
you guys have one of the biggest film
States.
festivals, though, like one of the biggest
I know.
festivals, and like
And also everyone always shoots in Canada.
Yeah,
I'm like gagged by
it's
that.
cheap.
Like, what's going on with Toronto?
It's cheap. It's cheaper to shoot here. Like that's you know that's a big reason why.
Why is your guys' media landscape so shit though?
It's always been bad, but it feels like the last decade has been quite dire.
Weird,
like
you're
even
like,
you
after
know
Schitt's Creek it went bad.
well literally, and you know it's also like there's so many, like Canada is very rural once you get outside of like Vancouver or Toronto, and like I said, like I'm from a rural town, there's one theater with 5 screens, and those are dominated by Marvel films and kids films and maybe one horror movie.
Because it's so
yeah, exactly. So it's like we don't really get a chance to explore, you know, not like something outside of the blockbuster, but then Canadian cinema. They're not putting Canadian
They're not putting
films
it out there
into these theaters because that's not going to make money. So if you live in Toronto, yeah, you can go to all these indie theaters, but somewhere here, you're not going to be able to explore what the media landscape here is. And I think that's why it's so dire in a way.
Wow, so important to you guys have trains over there. Let's get people to Toronto. Let's get people in Toronto to go out. Let's explore new parts of Canada.
Yeah, but even like the town I'm from, we don't have a train. So I went and saw Sinners last week, and me and my friend had to drive an hour and a half away to go see it. So it's like, you know, I said to her, I was like, hey, I really want to see this movie. Like, I will give you gas money. And she was like, you can help me move. And I was like, awesome. So we did like a little trade-off. But it's like, you know,
about that.
And Sinners is the biggest movie of the year so far, and it's not playing here. So it's very dire. It's very sad. And then that kind of leans into like media. Like, you know, we have a couple of publications that are quite big, but it's the people working there are like 40-year-olds who have been working there.
Legacy.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like your local newspaper, like film critic, right?
Yeah. Like my whole career as a writer, I think I've written for one Canadian publication.
Wow.
Everything else is the States.
Which is, we really do forget, like, such that there's the soft power and the cultural.
Somebody said soft power and I'm setting up.
Yeah, but you know, like you really do. I guess we do take it for granted.
Right.
And even here,
I think
it is a struggle. It is a it's a big struggle here.
Exactly.
So like, and I was living in Spain before, and you know, I was in a big city in Spain and whatever, but just seeing those rollouts, I was like, okay, life sucks. I'm not on the same rollout as everyone, but you would think in our North American partner, just literally our neighbor.
Well, I was even thinking like we see how like I think like Europe more so like Britain and France and like Ireland have such huge investment in their media and their arts and like supporting like British films is like so big over there. Like it's very easy to catch, you know, that stuff when it comes out. So I don't know, in my head for some reason I just thought Canada was similar in that way.
Well, I thought the supporting of the arts and
because the US like doesn't support
healthcare.
Right, because the US like doesn't support arts in terms of like federal, like state funding, like privately, and, like, I guess so, like the industry.
We do have that stuff. Like there are grants and stuff, but it's like the reach from that point
to actually something big.
Like it doesn't happen, and I don't know necessarily why and what is stopping it.
I wonder if it's just the size too. Like I guess that's
it's the bureaucracy though.
Well,
it's where do you prioritize?
It's a big place. Like it's a lot easier for France to fund, you know, like
smaller than
films like Titan when they have like what like it's not a big place. Like there's not as many people. And
well, that's really interesting. When I learn something new every day. A sad fact. But on the note of television in Canada, I will say Kim's Convenience deserved better. Kim's Convenience, that show.
I never watched, but okay.
So
I'm a bad Canadian and I never watched either. I'm like talking about like Canadian media and like I have not watched it.
No, but it truly deserved better. And it deserved
get on your soapbox.
It deserved the Schitt's Creek like explosion and exposure of like here's a family and exploring generational trauma.
It did okay. It wasn't a flop. People watched.
No, I know, but for sure. But it was like it needed to have its moment, and it got canceled. After like a couple seasons, and like you got to give it some time. It was doing great from the get-go. So that's my Canadian. That's my pitch to Canadian media. Bring back Kim's Convenience.
Even I think Schitt's Creek, like it didn't start doing well until I think it got put on like American Netflix or something, or COVID. Like, you know, it was going on for a while here, and like you didn't hear really anything about it. So
Wow.
Yeah, so things like that. It's always so important to watch international media. International being
And Canada is international, America.
We are international. It's international cinema.
It is.
Yeah.
Come on, Maples. Come on, Maple Leafs. Well, okay, so on the note of TV that is kind of, doing amazing now.
Yeah.
Before we get into Sinners, because I'm sure we're gonna talk about it.
Well,
we'll get into the movie of it all.
You haven't seen yet, have you, Val?
I have not seen until this week. I was supposed to see it.
We don't have to talk about Sinners.
Okay, we'll put an asterisk on that. But on the note of TV that's just doing phenomenal now, let's say it, Pit Hive. It's our
time. The pit.
Are we pitted? Are we?
Yes.
We're pitting out. Like, where's the deodorant? Where's the Old Spice?
Yeah. Yeah, pit's out. Pit's out.
Pit's out for the pit.
Pit's out for summer. But what, as a critic, and then also like just as a TV connoisseur, what are you writing about or looking to write about? What are you watching?
What are you loving right now?
Yeah.
Oh God, what
Besides
am I loving
the pit.
right now? Yeah, the pit. But
miss my family.
I want to
Me
talk
too.
about the pit too, but we will.
we will.
Let's just talk. Yeah.
definitely-
Okay, you say what you're loving, and
you
we
go.
go into the pit rant.
Okay.
Not rant.
Season 3 of Dark Winds, which is another underrated AMC horror show.
Kelly Boyle's in my ear.
Yes, it's
About Dark Winds.
phenomenal. It's so phenomenal. That is fantastic, and it gets better with every season.
Interesting. Okay.
And they got renewed for season 4, which is very exciting.
Exciting.
And Val, George R.R. Martin, and Robert Redford, both producers on it.
Yeah.
Wait.
Robert Redford and George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think Redford has a cameo.
They both do.
Oh,
Robert,
our good friend from All the President's Men, Mr. Bobby Redford.
Yeah.
Robert, is it exec or just produce? I can't remember, but I was on the IMDb.
One of them.
Wait, that's incredible. Okay, that's game changer for me.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, it's a fantastic show. This season specifically, very Twin Peaks Lynchian, which is not where I thought it was going, but so good. Other than Dark Winds, as much as I was frustrated with the season, Yellow Jackets season 3.
Hey, I thought you were.
People. I have seen the dip.
It's so like it's like this. Like it's not even a full-on dip. It's like a roller coaster, which is like engaging sometimes, but then very frustrating other times.
Yeah.
There was a show earlier this year that came out called 1,000 Blows with Stephen Graham, about like boxers in like I think early 1900s or late 1800s.
Oh,
wait, so they're like the skinny with the gloves? Oh my God, wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
What?
by the people who made Peaky Blinders. So
sign me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and nobody talked about it, and I was so sad. I wrote like a rave review, and then nobody talked about the
We're
show.
linking that review in bio.
Yes.
Oh my God. Wait, are you
interested? And
wait,
Aaron
what is it called again? 1,000 Blows?
1,000 Blows.
Okay, yeah.
It's
yeah,
phenomenal.
That may be watched.
You just changed my life.
I'm very glad. At least somebody will watch
No,
No, Kim's pissed because she's like, great, she's gonna watch another show before interview with the vampire.
it.
Yeah, no, what the fuck's that of me?
You still haven't watched it?
Watch the pilot.
I watched the
Good
pilot.
for me.
And that's like such a phenomenal episode. I'm surprised.
That's what I mean. I don't get how you watch the pilot and then go, this isn't for me. I'm like, that's one of the best TV pilots ever made. Like,
Literally.
Gowns, beautiful gowns. Gowns, beautiful gowns. Phenomenal.
I'll remember these words.
But it was good. It is good. It's good. But I'm looking at 1,000 Blows. Is it
Fuck.
renewed? Is it renewed for season 2?
Okay, so the weird thing is, when my screeners were done, it was like 1,000 Blows will return, and it was clips of like stuff I haven't seen. So I think they shot a season 2, but I don't think it's been officially renewed yet, which is very bizarre.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It looks really new.
When it gets like Coyote versus Acme and just not released.
I will be very devastated.
Only us three be like,
I
please.
was like, where's 1,000 Blows? Please. Wow.
That's interesting.
so-
They filmed.
Yeah,
that's-
it's a really great show. What else? have I
Set
been
during the
watching?
Victorian era in East London.
Yes.
Everything is romantic.
I also think this Malachi Kirby guy, he was in Roots, he's very cute. So
Okay, so he I thought Stephen Graham was the lead, but that guy is the lead.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
Oh.
like very much a staggering breakthrough performance.
I
Like,
love shows like that where it's like
phenomenal.
they have the household name and then or the star and then
yeah.
yeah. Okay, well,
Phenomenal.
fun. Okay,
Yeah.
what should we just talk about?
Should we pit out?
Should we just pit out?
Of course.
Yeah.
Bring back my family.
Who's everybody's favorite characters from the pit? I mean,
Ooh.
Dr. Robbie, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's everybody's
Robbie
favorite.
Rabinovich.
I love Robbie, but he pisses me off. But...
Wow, interesting.
I've been watching ER.
Ooh.
Like I haven't watched all the way through. I started watching it during COVID, but so it's been like kind of filling the hole for me of like Robbie, but I miss Langdon.
Thank God we're recording this because I'm a Langdon defender. He's like my
Me
favorite.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're all. I think
I don't like Langdon. Some people do not like him, and
how because the way that people don't like him means that they're just like they don't have empathy, and they also don't have a brain, and they also don't have eyes. Because have you seen that man?
Beautiful man, I think. And
beautiful man.
I love him and I love Mel. They're my two favorites on the show. Any scene that they're in, I'm so happy.
I'm really excited for Mel. And so Mel, people at home don't know, Mel's dad is Bryan Cranston. Famously. But some people, every day people are shocked. But he's having a good year with the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's doing great in the pit. I can't wait for this year's Emmys.
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be
so
little
cute.
Emmy photo.
That Emmy photo is going to be amazing. The recreation of that.
I do think she'll get a nom. I feel like that's...
Is it too early to say?
I don't...
The FIC stuff's happening.
I don't know.
It's
because it is still season 1,
And White Lotus is...
That's the thing. The White Lotus of it all.
Yeah, because they're not it's not limited anymore. It's like out.
Yeah,
the whole thing. Yeah.
So I think that's gonna block a lot of people from.
Yeah,
which is so frustrating. I'm just like,
but
can we not pretend there's one show?
Is it going to deliver? Do you think noms? Like truly?
Yeah, because it's just the White Lotus.
So stupid.
Yes.
I mean,
it's the Billie Eilish.
I think for like Parker Posey, like I think that's. I mean, maybe Walton Goggin. I don't know. Amy. What's her name?
Amy Lou
Wood. Gonna have a moment in culture, but
she'll win a culture award, that's for sure. But I know she'll win an Emmy.
I mean, I do think
MTV
Dr.
award.
Robbie. People have Langdon down for supporting, which I would like to see.
I would like to.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
Me too.
Well, I think if what's his name? Noah does not win.
I think he is going to win. I think he's coming for Adam Scott's. I think it's gonna happen.
Well, because I'm sorry, but like. This season was on Adam
I'm
Scott.
like, fuck Adam Scott.
It should have been. Last season was Adam Scott's for sure. But like, if we're going to make the argument, this was
I feel like I'm really low on this season of Severance. The more and more I get from it,
I still haven't seen it.
Well.
Wait, how do you get away with that?
How do you get away with that?
I just don't think about it.
Don't watch it?
Like, as like a TV writer, it's like
I know.
big.
I know.
That's so funny. But
and it's so funny because when season 2 came out, I was like, I should watch season 1 so then I have stuff to write about. But then I was like, I actually don't really care. I care about the old gay people. But
then don't watch season 2.
Yeah, that's the only thing that was kind of drawing me to the show. And then I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you said old gay people, and I was like, so that could either be Severance or The Last of Us last season.
Oh,
old gay people.
Yes.
Oh, I guess that's true. We will have Pedro they'll run him as lead. Yeah. But still.
Yeah. Like he's gonna get it in. Like, and I don't get me wrong, I think it's a good performance, but I'm like, girl, lead when you're not there.
Right.
Like, so
what episode did he die in? Oops, sorry, spoiler.
Episode 2.
I haven't been watching. Episode 2, okay.
Episode 2. So
was that last week?
2 weeks ago.
Okay, so has he been showing up in like flashbacks or anything? Oh, interesting. Because I was like, maybe that's how they'd finesse it, like a little random cameo. Oh,
absolutely not.
I had to kill a spider. So sorry.
Oh,
he's teeny tiny.
Well, I do feel like they will run him as lead, but
I think they will. Even though I don't think people should be voting for somebody that's in an episode and a half.
Well,
I also don't think he's going to be in any flashbacks.
That's what we were just talking about. If he had showed up yet, and
no, I think it's very much like a progression now of since he's died. This is it. I am shocked. I would be shocked if they run him as.
Do you think Bella, is it Bella? Is it Bella Ramsey?
Bella Ramsey.
Okay, do you think they're gonna get in for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's like a shoo-in.
Yeah,
wow.
and they've been doing
for
great.
sure. Yeah.
Great.
That's
Yeah.
like that one's like that. I can see that. That's deserved for sure.
Yeah, who else is our lead act? Oh, like Kathy Bates and Matlock, I guess.
Kathy
Like, who else
Bates
is the
for
lead actress?
sure.
I think
And
they're
then
gonna
maybe
do.
Parker
They're gonna
Posey.
do a. I think they're gonna do a Catherine O'Hara moment for the studio.
Ooh.
That's my wild
For
card.
lead?
That's my wild card for maybe for supporting actress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It'll be against Parker Posey.
You think Parker is supporting or is Parker lead? I'm not bothering to look any of this up either.
Parker's
Me
definitely
either.
supporting because Carrie
Okay.
Coon would be lead.
Is Carrie
Exactly
Coon?
right. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. It's like I don't
Yeah.
think it would
No,
be.
I
Yeah.
believe you. I haven't watched.
That's
I
kinda
do
what I'm
think
thinking.
I do think Noah Wiley has it on lock.
I do
Like,
too. I
I
do too.
think
That arc
he's
there is
running away with
Noah,
it.
Noah is the people's prince. He is TV's Demi Moore.
Exactly.
Well, don't say that.
Oh,
that's
well.
what I'm saying. But I am saying that in a way of like, yeah, on log, I think I've seen this film before.
Mm.
I'm worried. I do think it's different. He's a man, so we'll see. But
Yeah. No, I
worry.
think it's Noah's. I do too. I feel like the ER
Noah's
would
to
also
lose.
really
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
The pit is just so good. I mean, then that's the question of like, is the pit gonna win best drama? I'd be happy.
I think it might.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has
Yeah.
a very good chance.
Sorry.
I think Severance is probably still its closest competition.
Yeah.
Wait, we haven't even talked about Hacks.
Hacks, yeah. Well, that's comedy, so
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
meaning for like
Yeah.
the best actress and best supporting.
yeah.
Hannah
I
Einbinder
mean-
doing great.
But isn't it
Yeah.
a separate category still for comedy? So like
It's true. That's true.
the studio would maybe be if the studio is not limited, is it? So that would maybe be what you
Is the studio
Oh.
continuing?
I don't know.
We don't know.
See,
I
I'm
don't
not gonna
know.
look any of it up.
But also,
don't know
ironically,
usually I would be Googling, but today.
I wonder if Nathan.
And then we'll have like Abbott Elementary, and then is the Bear running or is that done with? I can't remember.
think so.
Okay.
I think there's another season, but I don't know when it's coming out.
I think they said June 16th.
Oh
so that
my
would be for
gosh.
next year's Emmys.
Yeah, that would be for
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah, and they're smart
also
because that
we're
would've been-
forgetting the House of the Dragon of it all. Are they gonna get in?
You're right.
Yeah.
It felt right. It's kind of did the interview with the
Mhm.
vampire gag.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that seems like so long ago though.
It is so long
It
ago.
is so long.
That's you're closer to the year anniversary than like the
Yeah.
Emmys.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, like literally. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
No.
it's not going to get nominated for anything other than potentially Emma Darcy, which I
Mm-hmm.
will go to war for Emma Darcy. The only good thing about that season, so I would be
Well,
happy.
and Jace.
Well, yes, but
Emma Darcy carries the show. That's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
mean, it's
They really,
yeah,
they
yeah.
really
And that's
do.
what I'm like dreading. This
know.
is, I mean, do you know how it ends?
House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably like, yeah, like
Okay.
because I've seen Game of Thrones. I can kind of put two and two together.
Okay, maybe I won't say, but I think
Yeah,
that I'll just
don't
say
say.
like this is the hard thing with me with this show is like knowing how it's going to end, I guess. Just like
Yes.
and
And
how
then still being invested in.
and yeah. And like yeah. I'm just like also you have to be running out soon. Like is next season not the like they can't be milking
there's
it.
4 seasons.
Because they're going to
Okay.
be jumping every time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what's really because Game of Thrones still had that benefit of like because it went
You
past
don't
the
know.
books. But this
Yeah.
is really hard.
Yeah.
Well, also like they don't this show doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Because in the next 2 seasons you have to kill like 25 people. So where are we going? Like nothing
Well,
is
I think-
happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
I
it's
think
also like so. Where
My
are
boy
they?
is leaving in like episode 2. Like I think
Well, I
Oh,
also
well,
feel
yes.
like it's the IP. People want that IP and everything.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's same thing with that like pre-Dune show.
Oh
which, like,
yeah.
that no one was
Yeah.
watching.
Right.
Like you cannot bring up the Bene Gesserit and then not fulfill this correctly.
Yeah.
Like this half-ass.
That show was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's also you wasted millions on this.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
have Dune at home.
Yeah.
have
Well, let's
Dune
like
at
wait
home.
for the movies to be done.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't even know if Denny wants to do the third or like do the fourth.
the
Like
fourth,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like he hasn't confirmed
Right.
that. So
Right.
Mhm.
like, what do you mean you're doing a show to a movies that we haven't even finished yet?
Yeah.
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 Well, also like that show was so weird because like as much as the films are very popular, especially part 2, I
Yeah.
don't think there's a broad enough audience for a Dune prequel show
I
right
agree.
Like,
now.
Very
yeah,
specific.
it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
So strange.
People love
especially
the movies
timing.
too.
Especially
Yeah,
timing.
and
Too
there are
soon.
like book fans of Dune, right? Like there are
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dune heads, but a lot of people love Dune because they're just like cinephiles and like love good movies.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
also
love
like
Exactly.
it's a
Denny.
way
Like
to it's a way to introduce a new generation to people to a
yeah,
series.
yeah,
Mhm.
So
yeah,
hold off on a couple years, then greenlight it,
right.
and then you
It's
get
I
a
mean
new
it's like
audience.
all the gross atrocities aside too. It's like the Harry Potter TV series of it all. Like
Yeah.
beyond everything, it's still not like we do not need a new Harry Potter TV
No.
series. The movie's just
The movies are still holding up.
there's
Mhm.
Daniel Radcliffe is still in the culture conversation as
Yeah.
he
Is
should
in
be.
the
Like,
culture, is in the and so
yeah.
it's just too
Well, it's
soon.
gonna flop. I will be curious who they cast as Voldemort, though. I'm just like,
No.
because they keep floating Cillian Murphy's name, and I'm like, if that happens, I think I would kill. I
Cillian
think
Murphy will not do
Cillian
it.
Murphy would never do that, right?
Never.
I
Ever.
hope he wouldn't.
No,
I
he's
don't
too
think he would
focused
get
on the
tied down
Peaky
to another
Blinders.
series. That's what I was saying.
Exactly.
He keeps,
He's too
yeah,
tied. I think that like there's literally like legal things that he cannot do.
Mhm.
But also the Peaky Blinders movie.
yeah. Is that
Oh,
this
yeah.
year? Is that
That's
this
official.
December?
That's official. That's like
I
happening.
know, but is it like coming out like this? Yeah,
I
it's
think
soon.
this year.
I think so too.
Yeah. So like Kaiya, what are your thoughts overall? Like, are you excited for that one? Because I feel like I just went back on my word where I'm like, I don't like prequel. I don't like this.
And now you're
But,
like, give me
I
the
love-
Peaky Blinders
but
movie.
I know I'm gonna love the Peaky Blinders movie. It's gonna be a 5-star, 3-star movie, and I love the
Mhm.
Sex and the City movies. So like I do.
But I don't like just like that. So
Yeah, you don't. You don't. So kind of.
I admittedly have not watched Peaky Blinders.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
Crazy.
shocked.
I think it's because it was coming out in the era where I didn't watch television.
Okay, yeah.
Like I very much was like a Sharp Objects, Big Little Lies limited series kind of person.
Mm.
Once again, taste.
Yes, yes.
Ooh, I want to put on a
So good.
cardigan now. Oh,
but yeah,
push a man down some stairs. Don't know.
it's one that I'm like, I will get to it eventually, but it's
Mhm.
hard now because there's so much that has come out that I
Mhm.
want to get to, but then I'm
Instead.
also watching TV for work.
I was like, you have to watch
So,
it for work. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a gag.
Yeah.
So what are your like hours, like in terms of like screen time? Must be insane.
Do you
I
try to
think-
do like an 8-hour day? Like, do you try to do like a work day during the week? Like,
No, because I don't really think it works for me. Also because
Yeah.
like I do have a day job on top of this.
oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So and like the day job is kind of limited.
Mhm.
Like I think so I'm like a teaching assistant.
Cool.
And that was like 2 days a week.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of like grading, so that's a lot of
Mhm.
work like on the side, even though I don't have to like leave to do it.
Right.
So usually it's for me, it's like, okay, I have this review that the embargo lifts on this date, so I have to watch my screeners by this date and then write my
Yeah.
review by this date. So that's
you.
kind of how I work.
Yeah.
So like if I have a day where I'm just sitting down to watch screeners and it's 10 episodes, that's a 10-hour day.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I'm
my
like
God, that's so
taking
true.
notes and stuff throughout. Sometimes I am watching screeners for a show while writing something about a different show because my week is so like jam-packed. But it's very it's not very planned, which is nice in a way.
Yeah.
But like say I have a piece due tomorrow, which I do. So
Huh?
usually I'll work for like 3 hours in the morning, take a little bit of a break middle of the day, and then at night is where I really start like going
Zone in.
crazy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
with your writing skills, you originally started as an English major, so you have that background. That's kind of your origin story. What's been like your biggest piece of advice for writing for television, like writing about television versus an essay or just writing about film? Well, it's kind of how do you
Like the journalist
yeah,
style.
from like the journalist side, yeah.
Ooh, advice?
Or
I
like
think-
like a note from your editor, like something that's like they've said to you of like condense this for this.
Try not to summarize. Because that's something I think, especially at the beginning, that I was doing a lot.
Yeah.
Just kind of anticipating that people who are reading this have not seen this, which is the case a lot for television.
Yeah.
But when you're writing, say, a piece about a specific episode, the people who are reading that are people who have just watched the episode.
Right.
So keep the summarizing to a minimum and really just like dive into the criticism,
Yeah. that's a good
which
point.
is something I think I've really got a hang on now.
Mhm.
But it does take time because I think even when you're thinking about writing essays in university, you're
Mhm.
doing a lot of description and like, this is what's happening and this is how it kind of coincides with this theoretical idea. Where television reviews and essays, you don't necessarily need to do that, but it's very hard to like rewire your brain and remember that all the time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. I feel like too, like that's something I just miss college because of like the
academic
like the
yeah.
academic stimulation, but like being like forced to do it. Like I don't know, I guess I miss that. But like with review, it's so similar to like writing a college essay of like, okay, this is my argument, like this is my hypothesis, and then here's my supporting things. It's just using for my
like here's the
I'm not using a book
way.
text, I'm using a scene to support like my
Yeah.
analysis of this and what goes into it. I think it's funny, like there's definitely things though, like where I love it so much. Like Queer was so hard. Like I'm like, I still don't know why I love it so much. Like sometimes you can't put it into words. Like
just a beautiful piece of media.
and I'm like, that's when it's like the best, I think. Like I think when you were talking about Annihilation, I'm like, I think Queer is that movie for me in that sense. But it's like I don't think I could. I would love. I just need to keep reading people who and analyze. It's so.
Well, like I'm glad people like you, Kaiya, exist because sometimes I'm just like, I love this so much, like I can't even
put it into
people
words.
can, but people can't, and then those are the words.
But that's the thing. I mean, even like Kaiya, what you were saying, like with your identity, like when media is so powerful for that. Like it doesn't even have to be explicitly, you know, like
queer,
a trans story, a queer story. Like it can just be. There's just something in the subtext that can hit you and speak to you in ways that doesn't even you don't even imagine or can really articulate why it does. I think
it just does.
It's funny because I knew that you liked Queer a lot, but it's funny what you were saying about like not kind of being able to articulate. And I saw it back at TIFF in September. And I was like a sobbing mess by the end. But
I'm tearing up thinking about it
right
now.
It's such a, and especially I mean that ending and just the visuals of it all. Like you don't even have to identify as anything. You just have to be a person with a heart and 2 hours of your time.
But like it took me a few months, which is like the good thing about living in a city where there is a festival. Because I was like, I really want to write about this, but I don't know how because I don't fully know what my brain is thinking of it. And then I had kind of months to digest it. And I ended up writing a piece for the Daily Beast about Kurt Cobain's relationship with William Burroughs and how that adaptation cannot exist without Nirvana's music, and that's why the music is in the film. And it took me though months to be like, what is this thread that I am the most passionate about exploring? And it was that.
That's so
that is your mind. That is incredible.
And that music is the music
the needle
so
drop.
pivotal to that.
The bass line. I mean, I knew that the needle drop was going to come, but I still kind of forgot. And then when it happened, I was like, oh my god, I'm sad.
Oh, it's so good.
My scoliosis is cured.
Yes.
Like I've never sat straighter. And for a movie called Queer. Just
love that film.
Truly
so
incredible.
good.
I love you.
Yeah. A movie that makes you say, wait, I like movies more than TV right now. To bring it back to TV though, I mean, you get access to insane screeners, I'm sure, and just you know, some hidden gems that you're like, I can't wait for people to see. Like, they're gonna love this.
Well, like 1,000 blows.
Exactly. What was your like? What's been your favorite screener to get when you watched and you said, like, you shut your computer and you said, oh, they're gonna love this one.
I think it was season 2 of Interview with the Vampire.
Okay.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, it was because I think that first season is so strong. And also because I was just so like, I think when I got those screeners for season 2, I was like, I've made it. Like,
like a pitch moment.
Yeah,
this
is something that
and now I get to
exactly something that you're so passionate about, and now you get to potentially cover it, which I did.
It's like also they know who you are.
Well, exactly that
You
too.
know,
I was like, oh wow. And I think it was when I got to season 2, episode 5, that I was like, people are going to
that was the
be so gagged.
I saw clips of that on Twitter, and that's why I started watching. So I had not
Really?
that until then, that episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a really, I mean, I've told you this too before, Val, but I do think you could watch that episode without.
I was just gonna say, send me
the
the
show.
clips of that then. Send me those clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, because I was very much like, I watched the show, loved it, but there was something about Daniel and Armand that I was like, I need more of this age gap
Okay.
romance, old men, like I love it. And then that episode is where that really comes to fruition. And I was like, okay.
You said old people in love. You could be
Exactly.
more clear. You could you love old people in love.
You do love your old gays.
I do love my old gays.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Severance, Queer, Interview with the Vampire.
I think that's so funny. You said the only thing that's better than young love, old love.
Exactly.
That's so fun.
Yeah, that, and also because I think the first television review I did was season 1 of House of the Dragon for Roger Ebert.
Whoa, that must have been insane to get.
Yeah, that was, I remember reading the first Game of Thrones book when I was 13 years old. I can vividly picture me and my grandma sitting in her backyard.
Grandma!
Yes. But, oh yeah, also, like, I was 13, I saw clips of the gay people, Loris and Renly, on Tumblr, and I was like, ooh, gay people. I'm gonna tune in. And then they were barely in the show, but the show was so good, so it didn't matter. And I was little old 13 me, and I was like, I went into the living room and I was like, there's a show with dragons and it's medieval. Do you want to watch it? And my grandma was like, sure.
Wow.
And I remember being so scared when like the first, I think it was Jamie and Cersei, like getting down.
Too.
And I remember like looking over out of the corner of my eye and being like, is she gonna be freaked out?
It should be, yeah.
No emotion at all.
So
and
your
then
grandma rocks.
Yes,
oh, she
does.
does.
Matched your freak.
Yeah, she very much is the only one who does. And like,
also, like you bury the lead here of like media that made you. Your grandmother.
Oh yes.
Your grandmother's mind. Saying you can sit and actually it's parental. This is you have parental consent here.
Yeah.
You're being supervised.
She very much trusted me, and then Game of Thrones became like such a thing that we watched for years together. But yeah, so I've loved that series since I was a kid. And I think I had written for Roger Ebert only like 3 times, and it was essays about films. And I just emailed Brian, my editor, and I was like, hey, is anybody reviewing season 1 of House of the Dragon? And he was like, I was going to, but it's fine. Like, you can take it. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. Like, we've only talked a handful of times. We don't, like, at this point, we didn't have like an established working relationship. And I think when those screeners hit my inbox, I cried because I was like, this is something I have I have loved for so long. And I was working with my grandma at a resort, and I like ran downstairs, and I was like, I picked up the phone and I was like, you need to come to the cottage I'm cleaning. She was like, okay. And I was like, I'm reviewing House of the Dragon. And she was even like, whoa, like that's a big deal. And I was like, yeah, it is a big deal. Like,
and no one has seen it yet too.
Exactly.
It changed, and that's honestly TV history. Season 1 is really good.
So good. So good.
And that's a great
also like, I think with like pitching, it can be such an intimidating thing in itself, but also it's like people are nice. Like, like that's just not like, it's just other people on the other end of the email. And I do think, I mean, sometimes you get assholes, but it's like, I think a lot of people want to help other people in a way. Like, I think it's people are more generous than we give them credit for, and more.
I mean, we have got to believe that, or else we'll all lose our minds. We have got to believe that some.
And there's people who aren't, right? Like, it's not always like that, but I think there is a lot of people that it is
like,
that.
Honestly, with pitching, I get so scared about it too, even now. But I'm always like, all they can say is either yes or no, or they're not going to answer you.
Or they're not going to answer, which is an answer of itself. Pitch someone else.
And like the worst thing is when they don't answer, because you're kind of like, did you miss this, or do you like, are you not interested in this?
So are you gonna steal it?
Yeah.
Well, that too. Which
like, well, it's out there now. So if I know if they see it, they write it, they saw it.
But usually, like, I don't think I've ever had a bad interaction. Like, it's so funny too, because there's editors that I've been pitching for years that are always saying no. And I'm like, one day I'm going to get you. And now it's like on a list that I have, like, publications that I need to write for before I die. And I'm like, it's going to happen one day. I'm going to get you at a good time one day when you have money and a budget. But
and it's so insane. I mean, even like what you've been
already.
how you've grown and the like the lines that you do that you've been able to for it. So once you kind of get that one, I do think it
does change things. Have you,
in your case.
I know you're on the writing side of it all, but are you ever interested on like on camera interviews, anything like different angles you'd like to explore as a journalist?
I want to do more interviews, but written interviews.
Okay.
Like last summer, I interviewed Geeta Patel, who directed 2 episodes of season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Oh, cool.
And that was very much like, I remember, I think I like threw up before because I was so nervous. But it was such an amazing experience, but something I'm very much not used to. Like freelancers don't really get the opportunity to do interviews. So I want to do more of that, but it feels like something that is so hit or miss as a freelancer. And I remember I interviewed Brandon Cronenberg right before I started my thesis, and the whole time I just wanted to say to him, like, hey, you like made me trans, and also I'm writing this like 30-page essay, but I didn't say anything. But
you know, one day you'll be able to tell me.
If you're listening,
well, if you're listening, Brandon, if you're listening,
I know you're listening. I'm just gonna
tag you in this.
But like on camera interviews don't necessarily interest me that much. I think because I'm very much at my core a self-conscious person, so I think that just like would not work. But written interviews are something I really want to do more of. It's just very hard as a freelancer.
Well, on the note of manifesting though, like if you're comfortable, what are some of your dream publications that you have to write about?
It's Teen Vogue is at the top. Teen Vogue.
We can make that. That's happening. That's happening this year. Come on. That's happening.
It's very, it's like, I just remember like when magazines were still a thing, going to Walmart every week and being like to my grandma, can you please buy me this magazine? Because I'm a child and I don't have money.
Teen Vogue has always been that girl.
So good. And their online stuff, like their political coverage is phenomenal.
They're
one of our best sources for like the
a young person's guide to saving the world. It really is. It really is.
That is definitely up there. Harper's Bazaar is up there. I don't know. What I love Little White Lies. I love Little White Lies too.
That seems like something you could do.
Yeah, that's true.
They have sometimes they do have their hard copies too. Is it quarterly? I
think so. I think the main goal is something in print. Bringing up
I think that'd be
like
really
quarterly
cool.
issues is something that I'm like, I would love to
have a hard copy with
physical.
it.
I know.
17 mag and Cosmo prints back for them.
That's true.
So you never know. I'm just putting that on your radar. Willa Bennett, you editor-in-chief. I know you're listening.
Why are you dropping the name? Okay.
Because Willa's family. That's family.
Oh, okay.
So I know she's listening.
Oh, ID is another big one. They're back in a big way.
Yep, they're back. They're back.
I want to ask, like, what are you looking forward to? But I think in terms of like a media, like landscape in general, not necessarily like what are you looking forward to personally, but what things are you excited about that are coming out soon? What are you hyped for?
What am I hyped for?
I need to watch. I mean, or stuff that's happening now. I guess like
I know.
Dying for Sex, I really need to watch, and
I need to watch that.
I love Michelle Williams,
me too.
And I guess that would be. I think that is limited.
Yes, it is limited run. Yeah.
So that will be also an Emmy play, but that I'm really excited for. And then I guess like my next one is probably like. I was really disappointed by Sinners. Not really disappointed, but I was so hyped up for it, and it was like a 3.5-star movie for me. So I was kind of like, oh. So I'm like, what's gonna be my movie this year? Like, I need to see a movie.
Well, can soon. We'll get those embargoes will be up.
I think Mission Impossible I'm really hyped for. And then I guess Avatar at the end of the year, but that's so far away. I don't care about like Superman or Thunderbolts or
but TV wise.
Okay, wait, pause. I saw Thunderbolts yesterday, and as a rehabilitated MCU stan, it got me.
I'm hearing good things, but
is it because of Julia? Is it because of Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
No.
Because here's the thing, I'm gonna say it is.
Well, here's my thing. I'm about to become obsessed with Lewis Pullman. There's so many tweets of it, the
just you
timeline.
wait.
That's
Just
why I'm
you
like, I
wait.
need to see this movie.
I
Because he's
can't
in it a
believe-
lot.
Once
Like,
again,
yeah.
Tom Cruise at the scene of the crime. What
I
do you
know,
do?
I know.
Monica and Lewis having an insane.
And
Yeah.
Lewis, almost a social worker. I need you.
This is the
Yeah.
Desperate
Bad.
Housewives. Here's the TV angle. Lewis Pullman looks like the son in Desperate Housewives of
Okay.
the woman who died. What's her
Oh, okay.
name? Like, and this is so specific.
Very
Clip
specific.
that. Clip
All
that,
right.
Cam.
I'll
Cam,
clip
please
that
clip
and I'll
this,
tag Lewis
because I
Pullman.
know people will. I need people to be on my side.
Yeah.
Tell me he doesn't look like a grown-up version of that.
Maybe I'll
son.
go see it tonight. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I think it's so, like, if you, this is so annoying, but if you were the person who read, like, those fan fictions of all the Avengers living in the tower together,
Yeah, right.
Thunderbolt is your thing. Thunderbolt is your
All
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's like
Family.
Marvel orgy?
No,
But,
no,
like,
no. It would be like family.
no,
It's
like
the
found
Oh,
family.
Yeah. You said wait.
We're not there yet. Maybe in like 20 years when they need to pull tickets, but
Okay. That's fine.
yeah, I think it's very endearing. Lewis Pullman, best part of the
pulls.
film.
He
Best
pulls.
part of the film.
All right.
Like,
all right.
yeah, me and my little sister were talking about him all night after the film last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to see
What
that.
boy
Yes.
of the summer?
Yeah.
He's gonna have a Glenn Powell moment
Mm-hmm.
I hope
I
so.
feel
We
it.
deserve
too.
that.
I hope so. I hope so too.
Yeah,
Ugh,
but the film was very fun. Action
Mhm.
scenes were well choreographed. The
Good.
score was surprisingly really good, which usually those scores all
Well, it was
kind of
done
sound
by
the
somebody,
same.
right? Like in that
Yeah.
one tweet, that's like from this person who did this.
From these people who worked
From
on
these
indie
people.
films.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
it's like-
A24 movie.
It is not. It does not feel like an indie film. Like it feels very
Done
much
by
like a
someone.
Marvel film, but a Marvel film from like 2014 when they were still,
When they were
you
kind
know,
of good.
serviceable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good to know. So,
That's-
what else are you looking forward to television-wise? I mean,
Television. What
yeah.
is coming out this
Or-
year?
or
Oh,
movie.
The Gilded Age season 3. I am
Ah.
such
Hitting up.
a Gilded Age stan.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm
It's like
I'm
prestige
so
soap opera. Fantastic. Carrie
Yes.
Coon, gorgeous.
Yeah.
exactly. I can't wait
Yeah.
for her to literally grace my screen again with
Yes.
her beautiful transatlantic
Mhm.
accent. So
Yes. So
I'm
that
very
I'm very excited for. I'm excited for a new Nicole Kidman wig in Nine Perfect Strangers season 2.
That's her
love
worst
that
wig.
straight
It's
cut
so
bob.
bad.
So
Like,
the bad wig means
Yes.
great TV.
exactly.
Great TV coming our way.
Yeah.
It looks
So I'm
so
excited
bad.
for
Wow.
that.
That's good. That's a good one.
Oh, and new Game of Thrones show, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms coming out at some point this year.
Okay, is that this year?
Is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still no release date, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But at some point this year, supposedly.
Okay.
Also, a show about the It clown,
Oh, the clown. Yeah. I
the
did know.
oranges.
Yes, that is
yeah.
coming.
I was
Is
a very
Bridgerton not a
annoying
new
It
season?
stan. Bridgerton?
No, that's next
I
year.
think that's next year.
That's
Next year.
But
Yeah.
Kaya, I want to put one TV show on your radar for you to
Ooh,
review or to watch.
yes.
Overcompensating. Benito Skinner's.
Oh, you are
original series.
obsessed.
I just saw the screener. Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
But a good shutting my lips.
Okay.
But I can't say anything. Mhm.
I'm like, blink twice if we're on the same side.
Val's been tweeting
yeah, I
nonstop
just
about
saw-
overcompensating.
I just saw the first 2 episodes. I went to a screener for it.
Mhm.
And I was giggling. And I can't wait for May 15th when the rest of the series is out.
Yeah.
Everyone go stream Overcompensating. We're literally Club Chalamet for Overcompensating / family drama. It's unreal. Like genuinely the proof is in the pudding. In our
Yes.
You've since day one.
Since day one.
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
day one, I've been
Really, I
fighting
mean,
for
in
it.
the trenches. Yeah.
So that makes
Through
me
this
very happy,
podcast.
Kaya, that you've seen and
Mhm.
Yeah.
you have thoughts, but
Yeah.
wait, can't be shared until May 15th.
Come back on the
Yeah.
pod. After
May
Yeah.
15th, I'll be here.
We're very excited for that. But
It's funny.
what is the other show that I was thinking of that was coming out this year? Oh gosh, well, it's
See, it's
escaping.
opposite for me where like movies, I know what's coming out. TV, I just get pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh,
I think
Yeah,
I think
I
I
think
get
we
so
all-
overwhelmed with all the
Exactly.
release dates that I cannot
Yeah.
remember. Like I know I
Yeah.
have a list somewhere.
Mhm.
Oh, Peacemaker season 2 is coming out, which I love John Cena. So
I was like about the John Cena.
Ooh,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha.
Yeah. Fantastic show. The first season I watched during COVID, I think. So it's been a
Mhm.
very long time. I don't know what's
Wow.
going on. over
Wow, interesting.
Wow.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
there. James Gunn was too busy making that Superman movie that
Yeah.
is coming out on my birthday, but I don't really care about, but I will go see for my birthday.
Do you, this is like kind of unrelated then, but do you like wish you were doing more movie criticism, or are you like in
Yeah.
the space?
Do
Or
you,
you
would you like
yeah.
to go with that?
Yeah.
I think because like I started as a film critic
Yeah.
kind of, I just found the whole thing very inaccessible. Because it's like, television, they send me screeners on my laptop, I can watch it
You
from
can watch it
anywhere.
anytime, yeah.
Films, you have to be in Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal to go to a
To go
press
to the
screening,
right?
but also those press screenings are filled with influencers.
Right.
So
Which is insane now.
exactly. So if you're not writing for a major publication, are you
Yeah.
going to get a seat in that theater?
That's a
Probably
good
not.
point. Yeah.
So,
And TV, you can do like episode by episode too. Like you can really.
that is also the thing. I love the longevity of television.
Yeah.
Like, I think I wrote about House of the Dragon like 4 times last summer because the way that TV works, you have time to process and then you have more time to pitch as well. With a film, like I have so many thoughts about Sinners. I don't think it's worth me pitching because the movie's been out for like 3 weeks and it's kind of, you know, the moment is kind of gone.
It's been gone, yeah.
Yes. So
definitely.
Television makes it so much easier.
In television, you have to like do, or a movie, you have to like do it before it's even out. Like you have to know
Exactly.
like the
And there's
angle that
also-
you want to take.
I was gonna say there's so many angles that you can do in TV because every episode can be different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
can be. Yeah.
So I'm
very
very much happy where I am. Like sometimes it makes me sad. Like there's movies I love that I don't really get to write about, but I feel very lucky to be doing television because it is so much more accessible. Like even, I'm in Toronto for 8 months and then I come back to rural Canada for 4 months. Like I wouldn't get the chance to do that if film criticism was my main thing because there's no press screenings here. Like they're not even showing Sinners.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, which is the biggest sin of them all. But I think our last movie question that we have for you is the question that we ask all of our guests on the show. Want to say at the same time, Cam?
Okay, 3, 2.
Well,
1.
yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Have you seen Jackie
2016 with Natalie Portman?
Have I seen Jackie 2016? Have I seen Jackie?
Have you seen
2016?
Jackie? Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I think that was also a pivotal film for why I wanted to go into cinema studies.
What a great year for movies in general.
Yes.
I do think we were probably all around the same age of when it came out, and it was
How old are you guys?
I was 17 when that came out. So I'm 27. I was 17, so I'm 27 now.
Okay,
no, oh my God, I'm 26. I'm not 27.
I was like, really? I was 17.
No, I'm not.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm 20. I'm going to turn 27 in like 2 weeks, but I think I was, it was 2016. So I was like a senior. In high school when it
same.
came out.
Yeah, I'll be 27 this summer.
Yeah, we're the same.
And it was, it was La La Land, Manchester by the Sea, Jackie, Moonlight, all playing like in the theater at the same time. And I went and saw Jackie.
Yeah.
I did not see any of those other 3s in theater at the same time.
Yeah, that was my year of high school.
Yeah.
I watched Jackie. I remember sitting in my mom's living room one afternoon, found like a legal version of it. And hearing that first like wailing violin note from that Michael Levy score. And I was like, oh, I am watching something amazing happen. And it had me completely hooked from that moment. Like perfect film.
I say I will walk with Jack weekly, and people don't get it. But you know what?
It's so hard to do it. That's what makes it.
Walk with Jack. No, I say that just like, do you want to go for a walk or something? Like, do you want to go on a walk with Jack? And people are like, what?
It needs to be like that game where people like,
yeah, it's like, what do you say when I want to go on a walk? Do you want to walk with Jack? No, but I ran into Jack Schlossberg.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, right by my work, and I was like, have you seen Jack?
You should walk with him. You were walking with Jack for a minute.
I was walking with Jack. You've heard it here first. I walked with Jack.
You walked with Jack.
So good. One day, Natalie Portman, we can only hope you'll listen. We can
ask her if she's seen it. Like,
yes.
That would be so funny.
Like, no.
I will always say that Emma Stone stole her second Oscar because that performance.
I think I agree because Emma Stone has too many Oscars.
Yes, I agree with this. Yeah, but I also feel like
I like La La Land a lot.
Me too.
I do as well.
I don't want Emma Stone needs to be on an Oscar hiatus. I think La La Land was like, that's a fun one to win for an Oscar for. You know, like if you're gonna have one, whatever. But I wish Natalie Portman got to have the Oscar for Poor Things instead. Like,
get rid of that. Hi, what are you looking forward to in the future? What's not even movie wise, but just what's inspiring you?
Yeah, what's keeping you going?
Yeah, what's keeping you alive and happy and thriving?
Keeping me alive, happy and thriving. Being in rural Canada and being inspired by being like a country boy at heart. Cigarettes are always inspiring me. And there's something about smoking.
Let's have a cigarette.
You this before you said I have my tie on, and you're gonna say cigarettes are so chic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jackie, I've heard that name. God, what a star! We have a star in our hands. Oh my God.
Yeah. Chic. There's something about smoking here compared to smoking in Toronto. Like something about, I feel like the land is speaking to me here when I have a cigarette.
It's not pretentious to do it. You know, it's like when you're smoking. Same with like Cam smoking in like Iowa. Like when Cam does it, it's like, oh, you're stressed. You're not doing this.
I'm in my car with my sparkling water and my Virginia.
Like you're not doing this because you're like on the streets of Bed-Stuy. You're like, I have to like have this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an authentic moment. Like I drive by the one hospital we have, and like the nurses are smoking right in front of the door. Like they do not give a shit.
That's so the pit. That is so Dana from the pit.
Exactly. Yeah. But other than that, what is inspiring me? Sinners. Like Sinner's Hive, love it. Love a good movie that's a musical, even though it doesn't want to say it's a musical.
It's a musical. I love those movies.
That's how I feel about Peaky Blinders, the show. I think Peaky Blinders, the show, is a musical. They're always on. Ooh. They're like always music playing, whatever.
Right. Well, Sinners, they sing. Sinners are actually singing. Yeah,
but they're not calling it they sing in Peaky Blinders too. But they never talk about it. They never like Grace. I
think Peaky Blinders is closer to like Queer, where it's just a really good soundtrack.
Still a musical in my book, but yeah, Sinners,
I'll let you have it.
Sinners is a musical for sure. It doesn't claim to be.
Oh, also inspiring George R. R. Martin's blog, where he likes to talk shit sometimes about the House of the Dragon process. Love it. I read it like the morning paper.
I'm obsessed with. I did not know you were this big of like a Game of Thrones.
Me either.
I have a Stannis Baratheon tattoo that takes up the whole.
It's serious for you.
It's serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Grey Worm. Come on, Jacob Anderson.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. That's how I get people to watch it. Like my family is very big into Game of Thrones, and I'm like, well, you know, Grey Worm's in it, and they're like, oh, and then they get interested, and then they realize it's about vampires, and then they say, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Like, it's genre still. Like,
because he's talented. Well, I love that. Please send me his blog. I never thought I'd say please send me.
I've seen screenshots. I think I've seen screenshots of him being very. Because he like leaked stuff when he like wasn't supposed to.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I know there is beef there.
He's very much a drama queen, and I love it. Like he's allowed. He's like 70 something.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, love. Thank you so much
where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kaiya Shunyata. Also on Instagram at Kaiya Shunyata. And those are the places I am.
Do you have a letterbox? I would love to.
I do. It is also Kaiya Shunyata.
Amazing.
Oh, and also gonna plug Serialize, the letterbox, but for TV watchers.
Right.
I am unhealthily obsessed with logging, even when I'm like watching Hell's Kitchen with my grandmother, every episode of TV that I watch. And then it makes me feel sick because I'm like, oh, I'm watching so much TV. But Serialized, everybody needs to get it.
I should get on it. I haven't.
That's a good flag. I haven't watched it yet.
It's very great. And also Kaiya Shunyata on there as well.
Well, I love that we got to discuss everything body horror and old gays with you.
Yes.
I couldn't
learn so much about
those are the most important things in my life.
This was a beautiful, beautiful conversation. Well, Kaiya, it was wonderful talking to you. I feel like my brain just like grew 25 sizes. Learned so much.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
go. I think I'm gonna go see Thunderbolts tonight now. So
you should.
Come on, Lewis Pullman.
Let me know.
Come on, Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis pulling me in. Let's go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. What do we say at the end?
See you next week. Welcome to the club.
No, that's not gonna happen. But welcome.
See you next time. See you next time.
See you next week.